The details: 440 flathead stainless screw for the servo mounts, coming in from the bottom, epoxying in the countersinks that I made. Don't want any water invasion in the wood. Seal everything up. So a lot of fussing goes into setting up a rigger. Got flat filed for the set screw in the right place on this push rod. I have a bit of a dog leg up and that way because I had to move the servo over so the screws weren't running into the bottom ski. They come out underneath on this side. So just fitting, making it work. I have the servo centered up and all those screws are Loctited on. So then I'll center this rubber boot. Just want it where with the boot relaxed, the rudder centered. About like so. So the boot contracts and expands equally, and it'll stay there. Stainless hardware. So there is the boot holding that rudder centered. Now I can bring this in, center it up on the servo. I'm gonna Loctite this little nut washer under here, tighten this down off camera. Again, these are just details. Notice I have this located on the upper left hand side of the nipple, because when this arm swings to its arc, that rod's going to pull away from the tube. So there you see that action taking place. At the same time, this arm is swinging through its arc and it's arcing down. So upper left-hand corner here, you'll see that drop down as this arcs through. So I've purposely set that up to where this rod moves away from that tube. There you can see that arm arcs down and the push rod drops down in the nipple. So with it being straight, servo arm straight up and down, rudder arm straight across, I want the rod coming through in the upper left-hand side. that fully completes the business end of the rigger. Rudder push rod hooked up, everything centered, everything Loctited. All the screws on the servo arm Loctited in. Got the servo mounted to the floor. Servo mount. Lock nuts. And I had to shift the servo to the left so that these screws wouldn't interfere with the bottom ski. They're offset a little bit to the side of the bottom ski, the flat bottom stainless screws coming through there. But this is ready to run. You take time to set it up like this. Plug the servo in. Just be a matter of centering the trims. Should be real close. And we can run power to the motor. Flex cable is in. This is all ready to go. Complete setup. Take the time to fuss like that. When I start this up, everything should come in real close. According to Zippkits instructions, and they say they know what they're doing. If you have any questions, feel free to contact them about how to tune their riggers. But according to their instructions, they say we need an 1/8 to a 3/16 toe in on the right sponson. And that's to offset the drag from the fin. Instead of making a rudder adjustment, trim adjustment, which would be drag, the tendency of the fin all the way out there pulling through the water, little toe in, it'll run straight. So I've made my front rod 5/32 of an inch shorter, and that should get me probably 3/16 toe in. So the toe in measurement will be from the back to the front of the sponson. So I want toe in, front toed in. If I shorten the front one, and these are spaced closer together, if I shortened it 3/16 of an inch, it would be more than 3/16 at the ends of the sponson. So I'm right in the middle of what they're recommending. 5/32 should put me at 3/16 or real close to it, from the back to the front of the sponsons. Then we'll be centering these with the collars. So I'm going to go ahead and put the collars on and center up the sponson rods. So I've already adjusted these some off camera, and I'm getting 7 inches front and back, really close, like right on the line. And I have 7 inches on that side, 7 on this side. But here's what we have. There's our towing. It's going to be a little bit of tension set up to pull that side in so the rod is all the way in the boom tube sleeve. And then we have to drill through the boom tubes for these screws. That's what's going to hold the sponsons on. Okay, last one. I have it triple taped. Got it taped here. It's under a little bit of tension. Pretty sure it's seated all the way. Get her done. Last bolt. Drilled in place. And let's see what we have for measurement. Yes, we got our toe in. That was seated when it was drilled. Sponsons are now properly attached to the tub. Got all my stainless screws Loctited. Screws in the collars are Loctited in place. I have my toe-in on the right sponson, so that becomes part of the bench tune. It's coming together. Major parts of the build. It's done. I believe this will be part 17 of this build series. The second final assembly video. But I guess I wanted to share how much work is involved, but also the fun of doing a build like this. The reward. This is the reward right here. Working with your hands and your tools, creating something like this. Put your touch on it. So many parts to this build. I hope it's been educational and entertaining for you. Still have to solder on the electric connectors on the ESC, put the receiver in, bind receiver, program the radio. But the major mechanical parts of this build, I believe I can say they're complete. I got some magnets, so I want to make a front tab, have two magnets. Try to go with a setup like that to hold this self-cowling on. So that still have to do that. So there's more to it. More fun to be had. I see what's going on with this toe-in. Kind of like I thought. I have an 1/8 inch of toe-in. The difference of here and here. So this measures pretty much the same as the other side. 7 inches here, 7 inches here. I have 7 here. And I thought, okay, so I only got an 1/8 inch of toe-in. But here's what happens. This part that's behind this pivot point right here, this kicks out. So I do have my 3/16 toe-in. That's 7 1/16 back here. 7 right here. It's pivoting around that point. So here's my total toe-in. 6 7/8. Come to the back of the sponson. 7 1/16. So that's 3/16 toe-in. I got exactly what I was shooting for.